Hi everyone, I'm back from the regionals held yesterday, and boy, was it an experience I'll never forget. Yeah, it was an amazing day. Um, I got to meet a lot of friends that I made at Kronos Protocol last time, as well as some new faces, and I had a blast playing so many games today. Um, I think another thing was that I met quite a few people, a couple of people who asked me, "Hey, so you're the guy that makes the YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Wow, okay." So it looks like more than a few people know about my existence on the net, which is pretty cool. And yeah, more motivation to churn out more videos on Netrunner. So it was great getting to know people. And how about my Netrunner play? Well, I brought along my trusty Goodnight Gate deck as well as the NBN The World Is Yours deck, which I also brought to Kronos Protocol. Both of these decks I've modified to accommodate for the new Honor and Profit as well as Double Tie cards. And through my playtesting at Octagon, I found that my NBN deck was holding up very well against most runners. And yeah, I learned to play better with my NBN deck as opposed to last time in Kronos Protocol where I wasn't that confident. On the other hand, my Gate deck had been shaky at best in the days leading up to my regionals. I've been losing quite a few matches, and those that I won were by the skin of my teeth, all boiled down to luck with excess. So coming in, I would say that my NBN deck, I had more confidence in playing it as compared to my Gate deck, which is something you wouldn't expect. So the big question, how did I fare? Well, we played 6 Swiss rounds, and here are the results. Ooh, a lot of green. I like that. Well, let's start with the runner side. Firstly, one notable thing is that I have a flawless track record against NBN, which I'm quite happy about because I did construct this deck to deal with NBN. NBN usually runs rather light on ice, and I can punish that by exploiting the weaker server and just making multiple accesses and gaining lots of money to trash the Sense. There was one crazy deck, The World Is Yours Astrobiotics deck, taken to the next level with Fast Track. Once he scored the first Astro script, which only needed 5 credits because he used Biotic Label with shipment from Sensen. All he needed was a pair of cards in HQ, Biotic Label and Fast Track. The moment he had this pair of cards and a sizable number of credits, maybe 5 or 6, he can score the next Astro script from anywhere from R&D in one turn and get 2 more agenda points. He just needed to keep doing that until he was on 6 points and score 1 more breaking news to win the game. So that is crazy, lightning fast NBN. Thankfully, he made a blunder. He fast-tracked an Astro script to hand so that he could score it next turn. He didn't have a Biotic then. He thought that was safe because there was a toll booth for HQ, but he neglected the fact that Archives was unguarded at all, so I played the sneak door and managed to steal his Astro script. From there on, he wasn't able to fast advance anything else, and I won that game. So that was quite lucky for me. I also played up against 2 Cerebral Imaging decks. I had a couple of Cerebral Imaging experiences on Octagon, but that was not enough for what I faced today. It didn't prepare me at all for the disaster that was this powerful archetype called Scorched Earth Seesaws Cerebral Imaging. I know it sounds crazy. I'm pretty flummoxed by it myself, but it works so well. Cerebral Imaging boasts powerful event-based economy, and power drawing mechanisms with all the level clearances allows them to draw the Sea Scorch combo into hand very quickly. With Biotic Labels and Archive Memories, they are able to recycle Scorched Earths, even if they only have 1 or 2 in deck. So with that, they can keep playing and playing Scorched Earths and blow through multiple plus grids, as long as they can land that first Sea Source. So in my first game, what happened was that the only ice he had was an Eli over HQ, and even that I was able to break because I had an early Corroder. I didn't see any of his flatline combo pieces, even after repeatedly accessing his cards. So with my aggressive running, I wasn't able to keep up with his economy, and I kept triggering his seesaws and ended up being flatlined rather quickly. The moment he got to 15 to 18 credits, he just pulled out the fast combo on me with Reclamation Order to retrieve the Scorched Earth to burn me again. So that was game very quickly. In the second Cerebral Imaging game, I was now aware of this strategy, and an early indexing confirmed that my opponent was playing the exact same deck archetype. So my only choice was that after I saw the combo pieces that he was about to draw into HQ, I couldn't run at all. I needed to just click for credits, get credits off Armitage and so on, until I was within maybe 6 credits so that he couldn't pull off the combo on me. Yeah, that was horrible because my game deck heavily relies on running to earn money, running to HQ, account siphons, and bank jobs. I couldn't do any of that. I would be flatlined instantly. Even as account siphon wouldn't help me because I need to clear the tags, and this gives him a window to flatline me. The game-changing play came when he installed Advanced and Naked Priority Requisition. I knew that I would be flatlined if I stole it because I just didn't have enough credits. So the only thing I could do was to draw cards, and on my second click, I drew into a +3. That was my magical, miraculous saving grace. I played it, I scored the priority requisition, and he couldn't flatline me. After that, I just had to access one more agenda to win that game. Oh, but that was so close. After those 2 Cerebral Imaging games, I was really shaken. I really had no idea how to reliably win against Cerebral Imaging. So that was it for the runner side. For the corp side, there was a rather even faction spread that I faced up against. The most notable thing is that in a stunning turn of events from Chronos Protocol, my NBN deck held up against Criminal. Although this is to be expected, I constructed my deck to specially deal with criminals. Program Thrashing is so powerful against criminals who only have 1 or 2 of each breaker and no form of recursion. For the Shaper side, I lost against Chaos Theory. That was because I didn't respect the power of event-based economy. He was playing prepaid voice pads with Lucky Find, Sure Gambles, and Dirty Laundries to make such big money, as long as he could drop all these event cards. I played way too slowly, and instead of scoring 2 pointers, which I should have just kept scoring Astroscripts and Bills. What I did was to attempt to slow him down by slow advancing breaking news and blowing up his prof contacts and closing his accounts. That only slowed him for a couple of clicks at most. At the end of the day, he managed to assemble his formidable rig of Battering Ram, Torch, and a Femme Fatale on a Dinosaurus. All of these were able to break through any piece of ice I could throw at him, and none of these were available for power shutdown because he had prepaid voice pads out. I couldn't power shut down anything. So the moment he had his entire rig assembled, I knew that it was game for me. The faction that I faced the most difficulty against was Anarch, simply because I don't have enough practice against it. I flat out lost to a Reyna deck because I wasn't able to draw enough ice to override his knights, and his knight recursion was way too much for me to handle. As NBN, I also run relatively ice-like compared to your typical HP or Wayland deck, which means that I couldn't find enough ice to replace those that I bled from Kaisa and Parasites. So that was unfortunate for me. Noise, on the other hand, was a very swingy game. It could have gone either way. What happened was, on the final turn, I had an Astroscript in my remote, and he had a Data Lake Reversal out, and he was milling my R&D like no tomorrow. I had 3 cards left in R&D, and it was his turn. He could have decked me, but I had a Jackson Howard out, so that Jackson Howard really saved me. He decided to go for the Astroscript instead, which turned out to be his downfall, because what I did after he scored the Astroscript was to shuffle 3 agendas that he milled back into R&D, drew one of them, it turned out to be a 3 advanced agenda, and I could fast advance it for my win. But that was still a very close game. We were both 1 turn away from winning. It just came down to luck, and that was a really crazy game. Not something that I want to play against again. It's so unpredictable. So, with a record of 9-3, it's very good, and I managed to make it to the playoffs as the 3rd seed, which I was really happy about. Not only did I secure the playmat, but I also secured a very good position in the playoffs. Finishing in the top 4 means that I can choose which side to play first after seeing my opponent's decks, which was very key, having been shaken up by the Cerebral Imaging decks I played today. My first opponent brought also Gabe and NBN, so I decided to get my games out of the way first, in case if I don't get it out now, I might face up against the Cerebral Imaging the next round, which I really don't want to. So I played a favorable matchup, which was my Gabe deck against his NBN. I played 2 games of Gabe versus NBN in the playoffs. The first NBN really couldn't cope with my multi-server pressure, and so I won that one. The second game boiled down to finding 3 points of agendas given an indexing and 2 HQ accesses. My indexing only turned up a 2-pointer, So I had to find the last one pointer in his hand, if he had any. If he didn't have any, he wouldn't be able to score anything to win. So I had to find that last agenda in his hand, which I didn't, and turns out he did have a breaking news in hand, so he scored it, which sent me to the lower bracket. In the lower bracket, we were fighting for 4th place. The winner of that match would get themselves an acrylic ID. I played against the same guy that I played against in my very first match. He's one of the friends I met at Kronos Protocol, and it sucked that I had to play him because there were 2 of us, but only one of us would be guaranteed the ID. So in the Swiss matches, I went 2-0 against him, but this time round, things changed because I dumped too many agendas in my archives with only a lone quandary to guard it. I was hoping that he wouldn't have a second York or Code Gate Breaker for that matter in his deck after trashing the first one, but he did. So he pulled it out, ran archives, and won the game from me. So I was sent packing in 5th place. I was certainly overjoyed with my success in this tournament. 5th place is definitely no mean feat. I might not have deserved it. I got it through sheer luck. There were a lot of games and matchups which favoured me, allowing me to clinch such a good position. For starters, my Gape deck didn't have to face 2 really scary deck archetypes, namely the HB red codes, where there's lots of end run, ice spam, and Wayland, which can scorch you out of nowhere. Notice that throughout Kronos Protocol and Regionals tournament, I didn't have to play a single HB Engineering the Future deck, which is widely considered one of the most versatile and powerful decks. So I'm very happy that I didn't have to face that, because I think I would have struggled big time against the multitude of ice taxing me to no end. I also got lucky with the matchups that I were assigned. I didn't have to play the eventual 1st and 2nd place winners at all throughout the entire tournament. Once again, same stories with Kronos Protocol. So I lucked out there once again. At the end of the day, I walked home with a set of nice prizes, but more importantly, it was the friendly company that I played with throughout the day. Everyone were good sports. Everyone had lots of kind words to say. I felt really guilty for taking some 2-0 victories in the Swiss rounds against some of my friends, but they were very cool about it. They were very nice people. At the end of the day, they came back during the playoffs. They made the top 8 cut, and they ended up placing higher than me in the playoffs. So it was all good in the end. And the tournament organizers were very efficient and ran everything smoothly. It was a very, very great experience playing against such wonderful people, and I really couldn't have asked for a better day. So big shout out to everyone who went down for regionals, and hope everyone had fun. Everyone else, happy net running, and do join the tournament of your own. As I said, it really will be an unforgettable experience, with no matter your skill level. It certainly was for me, and I hope it will be the same for you. Thanks for watching.